Hello, everyone. I am back with yet another one of my awesome hashtag happy clients, featured as my 12. No. Will you go get your life? Go somewhere. Hey, now. Oh, this is my son, Kevin.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Now he's supposed to be one of my authors. I was like, Chase, I have an interview at 8 o'clock. Can I get your interview in first? No, no, mom, no, no, no. But then you come out here and mess with me. Oh, okay. Kids. Whew. All right. Guys, I am so happy about this interview. I have the one, the only Kevin Marius as one of my 12 authors of Christmas, and I am so excited about this interview. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, Kevin. I really appreciate you taking time out. And I mean it because you're busy.
Thank you. I'm super excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Tell the people a little bit about yourself before we dive on in.
Well, my name is Kevin Marius, and first of all, I'm a motivational speaker, and I'm a leader within the supply chain industry, and as well, I've been a leader for over a decade now in retail. But this year, I added author into the title. Published my first book with you, Carla. It was really an amazing journey. I didn't know it was possible, but again, the first thing you told me was, "Hey, if you put it in perspective and you have everything under control, Kevin, you could get this done." And I was so excited when you gave me some hope when you told me that, and actually felt like I was doing something really, really great because I didn't know what I was doing at first. But I went back, and I'll tell you later the full story. And I wrote the book twice, so I'll tell you a little bit about that later on.
Yes, you did. Well, you didn't rewrite the whole thing, but
Right.
you did have. Okay, yeah, we'll get to that. So, well, I guess we can just start right there. So, normally, with my clients, when I edit, I do 3 rounds. Where's the camera? 3 rounds of edits. The first round is just let me see where we are, what work needs to be done. It gives me kind of a foundation. If it doesn't need work, I'll go ahead and do the second round of edits. But about 50% of the time, I have to send it back with a little bit of constructive criticism. So, talk to me, Kevin, about how you felt when you got my there's a little bit of work that needs to be done email.
The first time you sent it back, and because when you're writing your story, everything is in your head, especially when you're writing about your life story and your experience. You already know everything that's happening, so you're understanding for yourself. So when you send it back, when you send me back the entire edit with the notes there, and I said to myself, you are correct, right? People need to understand, when did this happen? What are the dates, the time? How did you feel about when you was going through this? So I had to go back and kind of write my story like I was a brand new person, not knowing what's happening, just to so others would be able to understand. So it was a great experience, and hey, it took me some time looking for all those little spot. Hey, where is it? Where is it? There it is. Here's all those correction things that need to take place. So it was really great because this had me going back and think about it in a different way. And I got so good at the end of it that Carla was like, "Hey, that's it. Enough is
That's it.
enough.
Yeah.
Please do not write any more in this book." Right? Because I felt so good. There's something about, I don't know, it's called the writer zone, I guess. I call it that way. When you start writing and you just feel like going, you
Yep,
feel like stopping.
exactly.
So, um,
Men usually leave out the emotion part. And my male clients, if I'm not ghostwriting it, because I can write it the way I want it to read, but if the men are writing it themselves, then I always have to send those manuscripts back. Like, there is zero emotion in this book. It's just like, this is what happened. First, you put on your shoe, and then you tighten up the laces, and then I'm like, no, how did you feel when you put the shoe on your foot? How did you feel? Did you mess up the knot? Like, did you tie it into a knot? Did you tie it into a
Right.
bolt? Like, how did? And then the guy, oh yeah, well, because you have to paint the picture. It's not,
Right.
writing a book is not like a movie. We can't
Hmm.
see what you're
Right.
talking about. We have to read it, but we're reading the picture that you paint, and you did a tremendous job. When I got that manuscript back, I was like, oh shoot, hold on, wait a minute, oh my goodness, cried a tear once or twice, putting
Funny
myself in your
story.
position.
It was kind of it was therapy for me. I was out. I was writing the book, and I never in my life get into that zone. I know my story, but I usually utilize it just to tell other people, just so they could keep pushing, keep moving, kind of motivate them, get to the next level. But this time, it's like I was outside of me and just looking at what's going on, and I cried a couple nights writing some of the part, and I had to postpone writing and to the next day because I felt it, because I remember everything that happened
Mm.
vividly in that moment. So it was really therapy for me doing that, and it was something I never touched that part of me before writing, but
Mhm.
it was amazing because it got me stronger and understand. So this book has so much emotion in it, and the energy writing this book is something totally different. So it transformed my life first. So hopefully it will transform other people's life as they're reading it.
So, without ruining the book, Kevin is a native of Haiti and came here at like 17
Yes,
and only spoke 3 words of English:
correct.
water, bathroom, and chicken. So, and now you are like a corporate exec. So I read that and thought, oh my gosh, I had a hard time just changing, going from school to school. This man literally, his whole life was upended. He came to a foreign country, didn't even know the people he was living with, and has managed to succeed every step of the way. So, how did you come up with, is the title of the book, is that how you came up with it, because you've been through so many obstacles and you haven't broken?
Right. The title of the book was totally different at first. So I had something totally different in mind. It was really, I was trying to put the pieces together and trying to figure out, maybe I should call it one of the events that happened in my life where someone, I don't want to go into too many details, but I had a different name for it. So
Mm-hmm.
after we had the conversation, and as we started to talk, and I think I had a copy of, I did my own design. I have my face on the cover and all. Then after we had all the conversation, then right after that, I went into a deep research. Then as I was sitting down, and the word came in my mind, unbreakable, and I said, "Wow, this is an amazing title, and
Mm-hmm.
this is perfect for the book." So I wrote it down, and I said to myself, that will be the first title. And remember the first conversation we had, and when I called you, I said, "Carla, I got this book. It's about mindset." And there's so many in there. My stories incorporated into the book and everything else. And you said, hold on, Kevin. You don't have to write everything in one book, right? Slow down a little bit, and you can write a book. There's always a second book.
Mm-hmm.
So slow down, and that really resonated with me the first time you told me that. And I went back and rewrote the entire book. Right, so I put it all together. I removed the entire um, mindset that I have. That was the title of the book, and I changed that, which means the second book will be coming out very soon. But
Very soon.
um,
Sounds like it's almost done. So when you say you rewrote it, you meant you rewrote it before you ever sent it to me.
before I ever sent it to you, so when we had the conversation over the phone, let me tell you the story. Right, when I first of all, let me tell you how. I don't know if that probably one of your questions. I don't want to ruin it, but
No, go ahead.
how I started writing um, was, I remember it. It was the first year I got married, Then my wife went into surgery, stage 4 endometriosis. So it was really tough. And I was there in the lobby, and I had a brown bag with me. I remember it. And I had a laptop. That was the very first MacBook. And I started writing and about positive mindset. So that was in 2017.
Wow. Hmm.
So I postponed it. Before that, I started telling my story at work, and people started inviting me to different buildings to tell my story. Then I started a mentorship program with leaders. Then my story started going and going. I started a Twitter videos called Inspirational Fridays.
Hmm.
We went viral with the company, and with that, so many people start calling me Inspirational Friday. So they used to ask me, "Hey, you should write a book," but I never thought about that until 2017 when I started to write it. So to fast forward, so when I had a conversation with you, um, I went back and I rewrote the book. And the problem is, the first one I had, I was going into paternity leave. So then I was traveling a lot with my company. So what
Hmm.
I did is everything was on my job laptop. So when I went into a paternity leave, I did not have any access to the book, but I had 6 weeks paternity leave. So I had to figure out, how do I get this to Carla, because I do not want to waste 6 weeks. So I wrote the book a third time.
Wait a minute. You didn't have access to your work laptop on
I didn't
paternity
have
leave?
any access to my work laptop
That's
in paternity leave.
crazy.
So what I did, I grabbed my laptop and I wrote the book a third time.
Oh my
And
gosh.
then, but it was really good because the first time it was me telling my story. Okay, it was cool. Second time it was all right. The third time, I actually started writing the book, and I started to go back and revive some of those memory. It
Hmm.
was late night on the couch, and wife is recovering, finished giving baby bottles. Then I was in the living room and I was writing locked in. So I wrote the book in 6 weeks.
That is crazy. So, what would you say? Because that's a very unique story. I don't think I've had anybody have to. I've heard of twice, like with computer crashing
Right,
or
right.
you lose your thumb drive, but 3 times.
Yep.
So, what would you say is the hardest part of the book writing process for you?
The hardest part, I would say, is trying to explain the story so others could understand, right? Because just like we spoke earlier, it was about, hey, I could tell the story a million times, my story, my life story, but being able to have someone to understand really what's happening
Hmm.
was really, even my wife, my wife was reading it, and my wife said, hold on, I don't understand this part, but it's in my head. I understand it. But I had to go back and understand what I need to feel like I'm in the reader's shoes so that I
Hmm.
could go back and explain it properly. And then those were the same feedback that you gave me as well. I had to go back and rewrite the story and kind of make those changes. Hey, when did this happen? 2010. You mentioned 2010. What day? When you came here? What time? Like, you have to tell everyone. We lost in
Because
the story,
sometimes it
Kevin.
matters. Yeah,
Right,
sometimes though the dates and times actually matter. And in your
right,
case, you were um you coming over here as coming to America for the first time in 2000 is a
right,
lot different than coming over in 1960.
right, right,
So let us know when it happened, so we can kind of paint a picture of the technology that's available, the state of the world at that time, things that are going on.
right, right.
How did your mom feel when you told her you had written and published a book?
Oh, and my mom was so excited when I told her that, and she could understand. She was like, "What do you mean?" I said, "I wrote a book." And when we even when published the first time, and you sent me the video, said, "Congratulations, Kevin," and it still didn't click yet, right? Because I was still there, like, I wrote a book. until I went back and I started seeing people purchasing it and people saying, "Hey, I need to get a copy." And I realized, wow, Kevin, you just don't realize what just happened. You actually published a book,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that was so exciting just to that moment, right? I told my mom, and my wife was excited, my brother-in-law, my in-laws overall, they were so excited about it. So it was a great moment, to be honest,
Yeah.
right?
When
And
I got your video, oh my goodness. We were on our way to Florida. So my son, the one you just saw,
uh-huh.
15 years old, driving on the highway, and I got your video and I just started screaming. He's like, Mom, what? I was like, I'm sorry. I'll show you when we get there. This is so funny. It was just like, hey guys. Hey guys, I'm waiting on a very important package. Oh, look, here's my book. We're
Right.
gonna open it now. It was just so funny to me because I used to ask clients for those like videos, some kind of social
Mhm.
proof, but I just
Right.
get so caught up in okay, the next client, like trying to make deadlines and help people with these books. I forgot, but your video was so cute. I loved it so much.
So it was actually my wife's idea, and I think we went out that day, and it was raining, and I told her, "Listen, I do not want to go out because I'm waiting on a very important package."
Uh-huh.
And we went out with the kids, and went to the mall. And when we came back, I was actually in the living room, and I said to myself, "Okay, let me sit down because I have to make this video." So soon as we heard the door, and I jumped, and I said, "There it is, the package is here." So I went to the door and hit record, and I said to myself, "I'm not going to open this package without recording it." So it was a very
Thank
important
you.
moment for me. And when I opened that package and saw it, so it was really a great experience because it gave you that motivation. That's the motivation that got me in trouble and writing so many other words and added so many things into the book because it was motivated to me. It was, and then I looked at it. I said, "Wow, I need to go." You know,
Yeah,
so
and I
it
was
was
like, Kevin, if you add one more word, I am charging you
really
again. You better put it in the next book. I'm not going through this with you. So,
and
go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, no, go ahead, go ahead.
No, you go. I just have
I
another
was
question.
going to say, when I wrote it the first time, I was freestyling.
Hmm.
I was just writing. I was just all over the place. The second time, I was just, making some edits. The third time, I just created an outline. And I created an outline and I prepped exactly. I know it was going to be in the first chapter. I know what I was going to talk about in the second chapter. And I started writing. So in my mind, as my brain started separating every single event that happened
Hmm.
and put it in subcategories. Hey, this have to go to this. We can tell the story too early here, so we
Hmm.
have to tell it there. Now, before we introduce you, now we have to talk about your childhood. Then before that, we got to talk about hey, how it felt like being in Haiti. So that's when we had the conversation. So I went back. It's like, hey, people need to feel how. I mean, the feeling of waking up in Haiti and every morning, right? You have to
Hmm.
feel everything
Oh
that
man, you did a
so
great
I
job.
had
You
to
even
add
talked
that in
about
the book.
breakfast.
Right. I had to put that in the book and leave the little suspense all the way to the end, kept the people interested. So it was really good because I thought of it as a movie in my head, right?
Hmm.
That's what one of the person that people that purchased the book said, "Hey, listen, I'm waiting for the movie next." I said, hold on. I wrote the first book, but hold on, chill for now."
Look, don't threaten me with a good time.
uh, but yeah, it was really. I mean, to me, I will always. I mean, other writers are different, but to me, outline was very important for me, right? And that's what I did. Soon as I finished, and it was good. I took one day off, and the other day I just started putting my outline for two other books. So I just did the outline, set it up, and figure out to like, hey, this is what I'm going to attack next. Right. Again, even though I put the outline there, that doesn't mean I might go to that with that title, but I already have everything set. to see what other book that I'm interested in writing. But again,
Nice.
it might change depending on what happened that year,
Mm-hmm.
and what really I never wanted to. I was waiting. Each time a different event happened in my life, and I wanted to wait a little bit to add it. But when we had the conversation, you and I, and you said, Kevin, there always, could always be a second book. Just give me what you have now.
Mm-hmm.
Find a way to end it. Then we could always get a volume two or a second book.
Right.
And I said to myself, you are correct, right? And I've been waiting for years just to add and to add and to add. But now I really
The
finished the
book will
book.
never get published if you keep adding.
I
Never.
know, I
Never.
know.
Yeah. But I
So
like
I'm
that.
happy for this year, actually, for
Good.
what we accomplished. So pretty excited about it.
The outline piece is great. I write to outlines, and it helps the writing go a lot faster.
Oh
Since you
yes.
wrote the first book 3 times, you are kind of like a pro at this, a semi-pro at this point. You know what to do, where to go, how to illustrate your points. So I'm excited to see what you have. Before we wrap up, I want to ask you, as a motivational speaker, how do you feel having a book, Unbreakable? That is the title, guys. How do you feel Unbreakable will help you as a motivational speaker?
As a motivational speaker, I'll say Unbreakable will help me share my story, right? And the purpose of this book at first is because I've been traveling and telling my story. At first, it started in Brooklyn, right? I was in Brooklyn and people would invite me to tell my story. And over the years, actually, this year was one of the most amazing year ever. I traveled in so many places to tell my story,
Wow.
all the way to El Paso, Texas. Went down there, told my story, and so many virtual and people had invited me. That's where I met Middleton, uh,
Mm-hmm.
that referred me to you. It
Mm-hmm.
was she invited me to speak. Actually, all her people were saying, "Hey, we need this guy Kevin to come speak. Can you get him on our one of our meeting to speak?" So that's why she reached out to me, and every time you reach out to me, I'll go on Google, figure out where you are, and I went and I said, "Hold on, you wrote a book and you had a TED talk? Come on,
Sure
girl,
did.
let's
Right, like
go."
back to back too.
Yes. So I said,
Mm-hmm.
you know what? We need to talk. I need to find out how did that happen because I'm in the process of doing so. I had no clue what I was doing, Carla, to be honest with you. I was trying to look for publishing deals, different places. I had a meeting with somebody that actually went and said, "Hey, well, you could write the book, but it's gonna cost you this and that." I'm like, "Hold on." Right? So then thank God, and I was praying to find the right person. Then and I find Milton, and she said, "Hey, I'm gonna hook you up with somebody, right? And she's gonna take care of you." She wrote my book, so I went there and I purchased a book first. I read the book and I said, "Okay, I'll send a message to Carla right now." And I called it. And when she gave me her name, for some reason, I really thought you was Haitian for a minute.
A lot of people do. That DuPont trips
So
y'all up
that's the
every
part.
time.
I said to myself, "Oh man, it's a Haitian sister. I'll definitely
Mm.
go."
Stock
And then,
passe. That's all I got. That's it.
so when I called you and we spoke about it a little bit, and I really liked our conversation, right? And then you didn't come into a place where you were talking about, "Hey, um, you wasn't talking about, hey, this is that, I need this, I need that." But the first thing was, hey, what do you have? And how can I help you make this happen? And you was very honest. So we had this and we went through the process and it was really a smooth process. Although I gave you I got two girls. One is about to be two, and the second one is about to be one. So I was there on my daddy duties and like, oh my God, I need to edit. I need to send those edits ASAP to Carla. But I'm happy we were able to publish the time that we published coming into the end of the year. and it's really a time for me to really go back and revise everything that I've done for the year, and this will be the icing on the cake for
I was gonna
everything
say,
that I've
yep.
accomplished.
Wrap it up in a bow. 2023. You are now a published author. Well,
Yes, and to everyone who will be reading this book, one thing I will say is, hey, don't let you could do whatever you want to do, right? And don't let nobody stop you. And I mean, that's what I've been talking to so many young people. And hey, I came from Haiti, right? I didn't know how to speak English, and I struggled years. My first job was a janitor at McDonald's, and I had to figure out how to be better. And there's so many other route that I could have been taken, but God was really great in my life, really guarded me. I mean, guided me to everything that I needed to do. And God is good. God is good. That's what I will leave you
all the
with.
time. Well, Kevin, I am proud of you for one more accolade. This is just one more thing you can say you set out to accomplish, and you actually accomplished it. I helped you, but you did all the work. You wrote the book, you made the edits. I just connected the dots and help you streamline the process. But thank you for trusting me with your vision. I appreciate you joining me here on my 12 Authors of Christmas. Tell the people where they can find you.
Actually got the website www.kevinmarius.com, and I'm on Amazon. Right, caller, hook me up. I'm up there now. Right, so that's where you could find me. Again, I'm so excited again, caller, for this book. You don't understand, and it was a great accomplishment. And so many things happened in my life. I never thought, like, twice in my mind that I would be here talking to you. And you know what's funny is when we spoke the first time, I went and to look at the interview that you did a while back. I think it was a one writer that was a police officer, wrote one of the books.
Oh, last year,
Last
Brandon.
year you said it, and I actually have it on my notebook downstairs that this year that I will be part of uh, um, the 12
No,
of
you didn't.
Christmas. Yes, I did, and I said that will be me next. That will be me. Um, that this year doing that, and actually happened. So, and then I remember the interview exactly that, and I looked at it. I said, you know what? That's my motivation. But now I've been looking at your other interviews, and you have so many writers, and some of them I have 6 books, 16 books. Like I said, I just looked at myself and I said, hold on, I am a rookie. I
Yeah,
am
you
a
are.
rookie.
But
But
you made it.
yes, but I made it. But one thing I'll say is one thing that Carla, what you have here is not only writing; it's just a community, right? The reason why is because I'm looking at some of the writers and their motivation, and sometimes I feel like a way. I'm like, hey, I need to reach out with some of those writers because I need to tell them, hey, Rob, publishing a book is not the first. I mean, it's the first step, but
Mhm.
it's not over. You got to.
Right.
There's so many steps need to be
Mhm.
taken, and those are really important and crucial when it comes to selling books. And I've been seeing so many before me that published with you, and I've been looking at because they're pretty much the blueprint, right? So I've been doing some research, Carla. So
Good.
I'm excited.
Well, it's only up from here. And since you have done so much work on book number 2, which was probably really book number 1,
Right.
I anticipate an email from you very soon. I better have something in my box by March. Wait, how old is the baby? The baby?
The baby is about to turn 1 in January.
Oh my gosh.
About to turn 1 in January.
2
But
under 2.
right. But the good thing is I'm going to challenge myself
Okay.
because the first book I wrote it in 6 weeks. So which means it's possible.
Mhm.
So now
Wait,
you
but
can
the
put it.
first book you didn't have 2 kids.
Nah, they have two. Actually, yes, I did. It was 2 babies in the house.
Oh, you wrote it when you said
Yes, she was recovering. two babies, and I write it. I never went to sleep. So after I give the baby the bottle, I will go to the living room and I will write until
Wow.
the time for the next feeding.
Wow.
So I didn't go to sleep at all until my mother-in-law came in to help out, and she'll come in. But I spent the whole night writing. I'm
Oh,
telling you, it's there's a zone that you hit where my wife had to come in and she was recovering, but she pushed herself and come and tell me, go to sleep.
please.
Then I said, "There's no way I could go to sleep. This thing is in my head, and I have to put it on paper. And when I'm talking paper, I'm talking about 10 pages, 15 pages, 20 pages,
Wow. Oh,
because
you were getting it.
it was flowing. It was flowing, and I didn't want it to stop. But some days as well, I didn't feel like writing. So
Mm-hmm.
the day that I really feel like writing, so I went in and started it. So it was amazing. I learned so much from there. I learned so much.
Ebbs and flows. Some days I can write, like today was a very hard writing day for me. I may have gotten 50 words. When we
Right.
get off, I'm going to try to get in another 1,500. But yesterday I did like 6,000 words and it was a breeze. I was just like in the zone, like, I
And
just like
just
found
so
the
you
key.
now you mentioned the words, that was a target as well.
Mm-hmm.
I had a target of each day, each week, how many words that need to be done. So I
Mm-hmm.
had to put in I had it, it's funny, right? I'll create this schedule.
Mm-hmm.
The schedule is for my myself and my mother-in-law. The schedule is for baby bottles. Who has the night shift and the day shift, and on the side of it was the how many words I need to hit for that. So it was pretty funny.
Kevin. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm not, listen, if it works, I'm not going to knock it. I applaud you. So then, yes, absolutely. By March, I
Yeah.
better have something by the end of March. I'll give you to the end, but I need something in my inbox. If not, I'll be texting you like, "Hey, Kevin, remember me?" But thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. It's been nice chatting with you, getting to see you finally.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, but I will be back tomorrow night, guys, with another one of my hashtag happy clients for 12 authors of Christmas. So go to kevinmarius.com, buy a book for you and buy a book for a friend, someone who needs to be motivated, someone who needs to be encouraged, someone who needs to understand the definition of unbreakable. Thanks. See you later. Bye.
Bye.